How's it going, Seam Squad? Welcome back to another video. We haven't done a video of this style in a while. The last time we did it, what it's like being teen parents. We made that with the very horrible camcorder and the same microphone as we're using now. Just throw that off right there. Rather than for our normal vlogs, we just use this cool thing right here. But when we're sitting down, which we haven't done in a while, I actually hook up my professional microphone. So like I said, it's been a while since we've done a video of this style, and today we want to talk about how we met and how we got together and pretty much what stuck. So let's go back in time, starting freshman year, because we got together in high school. So freshman year, I was just really focused on school and really trying to make the most of my first year of high school. I didn't do much. I mean, the way I am now is the way I was then. I sat in front of a computer all day and did literally just that. She was the sports maniac. I was the quote unquote introvert. I didn't like to interact with people. I hate people. But I was very introverted. I only stuck with what I knew. And I guess it's kind of like the downside of me, because I'm always scared to venture out because I'm scared of harm or, figuring out the bad side of things. So I only stick with what I know. I found a job in the near future during my senior year of selling shoes. Since this is in the future, we won't worry about this much, but it was an honest paying job for myself at the time, and I was pretty proud of it. Come sophomore year, things started changing. Out of nowhere.
It was like we come back from summer break, bam, start sophomore year, and we knew who each other, we knew of each other.
I knew who she was, but I didn't know her. I couldn't tell you about her. You could show me a picture of her face and I could tell you the name, and that's all I knew.
I think it helped a little because sophomore year, I was a cheerleader. Well, I guess sophomore, junior, and senior year, I was a cheerleader, but sophomore year is when I started cheer. So that could have helped on how he knew who I was.
And he know your boy taking note of those cheerleaders.
But anyway.
That's when I really started to notice her, because I was always at any games, really basketball and football. Catherine was more into sports than I was. I was only there to support my friends and the team, and just to joke around with everybody that showed up as well. I never really paid attention to the game, nor did I really understand much of what was going on. I just wanted to be there so I can be around my friends and just have a laugh that night anytime I could. And that was pretty much almost every game that was happening, whether it be football or basketball.
My relationship life, sophomore year.
Dude, that was a mess.
Let's talk about that real quick.
That was a mess.
This is where it gets good. This is where we lead up to how Mike and I got together. Freshman year, I had a huge crush on a sophomore, and he was playing me so hard. It was an I like you, I don't like you, I like you, I don't like you, let's just be friends. And that person never wanted to get together or to try to talk about anything. And so he played me almost my whole freshman year. Bless you. But yeah, he played me almost my whole freshman year. We come back from summer break sophomore year, and summer break I was like, you know what, forget him. I'm gonna go into sophomore year, start all over. So I started talking to another guy around October, November of sophomore year. And when I started talking to that guy, but that guy I liked freshman year, he started trying to come back and try to get me from the guy that I was already talking to. And around December, I started talking to a senior. I was a sophomore. And that guy and I talked for about 3 to 4 months. The whole school knew about us. They knew us as the dream couple. What did you prefer it as? They knew us as
It was like the golden couple.
the golden couple. They knew us as the golden couple, and we weren't even together. I had turned 16 the end of sophomore year in March, and he was my escort to my Sweet 16. Still to this day, though, he still has my Sweet 16 invitation. That guy was my escort to my Sweet 16. I had the whole lineup like a quinceañera. I didn't have the guys, I just had the girls. And one of my best friends was in it, and she's still my best friend to this day. One of my best friends to this day. She left after the party was over, and my escort walked her out. And I think she either called or texted me after she left, and she was like, "Hey, so-and-so kissed me when he walked me out to my car." And I was a little bit heartbroken, because I really liked this guy, and he kissed her, came back into where I had my party, and kissed me. Prom was coming up, and
Oh God, this is where it gets juicy.
Prom was coming up, and everybody thought that he was gonna ask me, and I honestly thought that he was still gonna ask me, but he was talking to me and another girl at this point. Everyone thought he was gonna ask me. So after first period, we always went to our auditorium and we had announcements. During announcements, or we actually had assigned seating by our first period. So, of course, your girl's classroom was in the very back of the auditorium at the table. So the guy I'm talking to goes up on stage and he's like saying that he has a promposal. So everyone like starts looking back at me and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be Catherine." And I'm just sitting there like, I gotta walk through all these people up on the stage. No, it was not Catherine. He asked another girl, and when he did, the whole auditorium turned around at what I felt was all at once and stared at me.
And afterwards, like, he did a complete like 540, 720, and just like completely flipped the script. So everybody felt genuinely bad. So like, sure, me and my friends laughed at first, but after a while, I text her and like I was like, you know, "Hey, is everything cool? It sucks that he did you like that. You know, you didn't deserve that." Things like that. And before I knew it, I found myself talking to her more and more.
It was started to be like almost an everyday thing.
Yeah, at
but
first
it wasn't like talking. We were just talking as friends.
Yeah, like at first it would be like maybe every like 3 days or something. We would just, you know, randomly throw out a hey here and there. "What's up? What are you up to?" Though Catherine and I were talking pretty frequently, the one thing that set us off to actually start engaging with each other was a simple road trip up the road to Sonic. And that one experience, well, everything after that is history. But that one road trip to Sonic, which
Like
was
to this
literally,
little guy.
yeah, was literally like not even 5 minutes up the road. That alone kind of just initiated everything to go from every 2 days, you know, a few hours worth of text, to, yeah, staying up late, you know, every other day. I think before that, I had a crush on one of her friends. And I was steady trying to get at her.
Yeah.
And she kind of led me on. And I was too blind to see that. So when she like straight up told me like, "Hey, I'm sorry for leading you on," like in less than 24 hours, I was cool and I was like, whatever, on to the next.
So that's when the talking really started. And then it started being like, you know, walking to classes. It was like a, it was
like,
not really walking to classes.
It was like a meet in between kind of
meet
thing.
in between, or like pass by each other and
say what's up.
Yeah.
Then it started getting into, okay, how can I stretch these 5 minutes between classes to speak to you? And then it started getting into, how can I sneak my phone out during class to speak to you? Then it just started getting like further and further. And it got to a point that towards the summertime, it was the last few months worth of school. I told her, I said, you know, I think she was going away or something. I don't remember.
I was going, I had cheer camp.
That's right. And when she was
No. I was going to a month-long summer camp in July, and at that camp, there's like no cell phone service or anything, but you can't even bring it. So there's like no electronics. You have to communicate by writing letters.
I was gonna ask her when she got back to be my girlfriend, and I couldn't wait.
I told him, I said, let's get together June, whatever the date was.
I think it was like 12.
Because during that time in July, I would have been out of that monthly camp just for a week for cheer camp. So I was going to be able to talk to him on our 1 month anniversary.
The reason I agreed to that date too was because I wanted to like take some time to reflect and like make sure these feelings that I had were real and make sure that this is something I wanted to put myself into. The only longest relationship I had before that was in 8th grade, for pretty much all of 8th grade, which was like 11 months. I wanted this relationship to be something because not only was I older, but I was in high school. Word gets around pretty fast.
And it's like we were still young. We were 16.
We were 16.
It was like...
Times were changing. Times were definitely changing.
I was sitting in English class. No,
I was in Spanish.
And he was in Spanish. At that time, I had my driver's license, but I didn't have a car. So I had a ride to school, but I didn't have a ride home from school. So I was always relying on one of my best friends to take me home from school because she just lived right around the corner from me.
So I offered her a ride home.
No, I have the messages.
What?
I have the messages of the day we got together. Okay, so we were texting, like we said. I was in English. He was in Spanish. This is how our conversation...
Don't give him like word for word. Make it sound 20-year-old. I don't want to be embarrassed, dog.
I said, how many more days?
And I said, 0. I'm asking today.
I said, LOL. Oh, really?
I told her I was being serious.
I said, after school or what?
And I told her that was a surprise. You'll see. I already know when I'm going to. Which was after school.
And I told him I hated surprises.
I told her it would be a good one and it'd be worth it.
I texted him a little bit later and I asked him if he could take me home because my best friend couldn't take me home. I think she had left early or something. And he said he could. So I think we were almost like halfway to my house and he hadn't asked me yet. And I didn't want to bring it up. And I was like, well, maybe he's not going to ask me. Maybe he's going to wait till we get to my house.
Maybe that's the surprise.
I hate surprises. We were at a stoplight halfway to my house. He pulls out his phone, opens his Snapchat, and he's like, hey, Kat. And I turn and look at him, and he has his phone on Snapchat. And I kind of like look down because he had it like below him. And
no, I had it up, like way up
you?
this way. Yeah, I had it up high.
Okay, well, I turned and I looked at him and I was like, I doing like a cheeky smile, like I'm trying not to smile, but I am. And he was like, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, yeah, like the softest yeah ever.
Like you couldn't hear it.
Like I hated surprises. And he put it on his Snapchat story.
And I was a total noob to Snapchat at that time.
But guess he didn't save the video.
Guys, all it took was a simple road trip to Sonic in a matter of 20 minutes for us to start getting close. And in the end, we had very rough patches on and off with each other as far as breaking up and getting back together. No relationship is perfect. No relationship is golden. Every single relationship in this world will have its days, good or bad. And we're one of those couples that has those kinds of relationships. So though on camera we may seem perfect, we're really not. And we can honestly admit that with no shame because we're only human. Even through all those bad times and all those good times, it's matured us and really solidified the foundation for who we are and who we're going to be in the future. Now with the arrival of our son in our lives, our entire world has flipped upside down and right side up. And we've matured even faster to the point that we know what we need in life and who we want to be and what we want to make of ourselves. But that's the story of how me and Catherine took a Sonic trip. She got rejected in front of the entire school and I turned it around and snatched her for myself because I knew after that Sonic trip, maybe something could happen that would get me out of the almost depression that I was going through at that time. And sure enough, 4 years later, my entire world has changed to a point where I'm so much happier in life that I can look back at those times and laugh at myself for being as down as I was. But guys, that's it for today's video. That was our story of how we got together and how we got through all of the BS in our lives and became happy afterwards. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. Let us know you enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the little bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified anytime we upload a brand new video. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's story. Peace out.